so now I have a pleasure to speak with David Chan, the Managing Director of Advent2Labs, who is delivering the consulting services and simulation services in the Southeast Asia. David, thank you very much for coming such a long way here to the InterMarium Simulation Conference in Krakow.
Which is my pleasure.
David, I would like to speak with you because as far as I know, your experience with simulation, especially with FlexSim simulation, is also quite long. So I would like to speak with you about that. What is your view on the simulation, on the approach towards the simulation in the industry, and also a little bit maybe about this history. So if you can tell us actually when and how did your adventure with the simulation started?
I started getting in touch with FlexSim is almost 2001. That is where I actually get in touch with father of FlexSim, which is known as Taylor 2. I'm using it as a teaching tool to my student. Somehow the tool was discontinued and suddenly popped up with FlexSim. And when I was trying out with FlexSim, I find that it is a much better tool, much easier tool to use compared with Taylor 2. And I am able to build a simple operation with a manufacturing line and warehouse within even 45 minutes, all right, of following the tutorial. So I find that FlexSim has a lot of potential because of its short learning curve, and I adopt it as a kind of training tool in simulation for my student. And when I left the training institution or the university, I become the distributor for FlexSim, and since then until now, it is almost 20 years.
Okay, so when you started actually acting as a distributor of FlexSim, so of course you were cooperating with the industry. If you would have to compare, let's say, the approach towards the simulation, the awareness about the simulation that time when you were just starting, and now how much it changed, and actually, let's say, can you see any process?
Okay, in fact, I would say that computer simulation back in my region is something that is always only within the university. So a lot of industry, they are looking at what is this animation got to do with my real operation. So it is, in fact, I've been spending almost 10 years or even 15 years to educate the industry, to share with them the importance of simulation, how actually it can help us to make a right decision all this while. Sad to say, even though we have been pushing I4.0, I5.0, all right, there are more people understand about simulation, but however, there is still a lot of people, they are still not aware of what is simulation about. So I think my job, a lot of time in my area, is trying to again educate, make awareness to the industry, the importance of simulation, so that they can actually make full use of this wonderful tool to help them to make a decision.
Yeah, actually, you said that it's important. Yeah, so why would you say that it's important? So important for the industry from your point of view. Yeah,
this is very important because simulation is something that helps us to make a decision, so that we can actually to do a model, to do a game of the real system beforehand, and we can test it with the different possibility, different scenario to reduce the possibility of risk that for the implementation. And a lot of time in my prior job as an industrial engineer, we do a lot of improvement. But how does this improvement, in the sense that able to impact the downstream, how does it affect the upstream? Nobody knows. Everything is very local, and hence therefore, even though you have done improvement, but at the end of the day, there's no improvement at all, or sometimes de-improvement. All right. So simulation helps us to look at the entire system at a higher level to understand what will be the impact towards the entire system rather than just a local. Because you spend so much money on a local improvement, but at the end of it, you de-improve the whole process, that will become a waste.
Okay, and what you can see as the biggest, let's say, challenge for the companies, or the biggest obstacle why they, let's say, maybe still not, the industry is still not using this tool actually as they could use it, yeah? So about the scale and so on.
A lot of time when the industry, or maybe when I present simulation to them, they always ask me this question: David, what is the ROI of getting FlexSim? To me, it's a very difficult question to answer. I could not answer this question because FlexSim is not an equipment, all right? And it is a tool. When it is a tool, it really depends on how much you use it. The more you use it, the more saving that you get. And we don't measure ROI for simulation software. It should be ROR. What is ROR? ROI is return on risk. If you do not do an investigation, you do not do a simulation, and if this whole thing fails, who is going to bear the cost? All right. So if you're looking from this perspective, then you will see that simulation has its value. But the industry are only taught about ROR, how much can I get return from this investment from this software. So hence, therefore, we have to overcome this thing and allowing them to see that the value of simulation, how does it actually help them to avoid all the mistakes that they make.
Yeah, actually, it's also the challenge for us here as InterMarium, as we are the distributors. And I think it is, I like to say, for example, to the clients that actually the potential benefits from the use of the simulation are actually unlimited, yeah? Because as you said, yeah, it depends on how much you will use it, and what kind of, let's say, issues you will tackle with it, yeah,
yes,
and so
exactly.
on. Yeah? So this is the case, yeah.
Exactly.
And if you would like to compare, I don't know how much do you know, let's say, here our circumstances in Europe, for example, but can you see any differences maybe from our event today, like towards the approach to the simulation here and in your countries which you are responsible for in Southeast Asia? Do you have any impressions like that?
I think at least my impression when I attend this conference is that a lot of companies they are aware of what the simulation, I think, as compared with the ASEAN countries. ASEAN country, a lot of this information is still within the research, within the high level of institution, but it has not been really go down all the way to the industry. But I see that today there are a lot of industrial players over here. We also have a lot of academic over here. Hence, therefore, I have a feeling that simulation is a kind of balance, quite balanced in this particular area. Hence, therefore, in terms of pushing simulation or educating simulation or applying simulation, I have a feeling over here is a little bit easier as compared with the ASEAN countries. Okay,
and you said quite a lot actually about the universities, and you are coming from this,
yes, right.
Let's say, environment, yeah. And actually, we also, as InterMarium, we cooperate a lot with the universities, which you notice here, yeah. But so, how you can see the role of the universities in all of that aspect of maybe promoting simulation to industry, yeah, maybe this technology transfer. Can you see actually the role for the universities in all of that process, yeah? How they can actually impact this process of promoting simulation and in the industry?
I think for the academia, there are a lot of value that add on to simulation. At the lowest level, they can teach about simulation so that the students are aware about simulation, so that when they get into the industry, they can apply simulation. At a higher level, they can, in the sense that, work with company to establish kind of consultation project to assist them because they have a lot of knowledge, all right, in this area. So this knowledge, they can be translated into the model and help company to do improvement. Yeah. Okay. But I think there is another level which is what you and me might not be able to do it is the research level. because we are very day-to-day operational level. We don't have enough time to spend into research. So therefore, we have to work very closely with the university and to see in what way that we can collaborate in the research area, especially now we're talking about AI, ML, machine learning. So in the sense that how machine learning, how artificial intelligence can actually able to help the simulation to make decision, to move on with the data that is generated from the simulation so that they can actually make a decision what kind of improvement plan from the data that is being generated from the simulation, which I think that is something that is something that we can look forward to, all right? Not only in looking at the current situation, but we can actually use it for prediction, we can use it for future planning. And the AI will able to tell us in the sense that how many resources, what kind of production plan it can be. So in the sense that it will reduce a lot of time, because currently a lot of times we have to digest from the different chart in order to make an implication or conclusion. So I think AI will be able to help us in those areas. And I hope that the academia, the so-called the university, they will able to lead in that particular area as well.
How important in your, according to you, is the role of the proper partner for the given company if they want to implement the simulation, they want to start to use it? How important it is to have the proper experienced and also professional partner, for example, like this FlexSim distributor, also.
Yeah. I think it's very important, just like when we start to walk, we need somebody to hold our hand, lead us in walking. So when they embark into the simulation journey, it is the same thing, right? They need a mentor to guide them, to help them, so that they can walk properly. At least initially, maybe at least 2 or 3 projects, all right, to help them to walk through, and they will learn from our experience, learn from our coaching, and then they can actually stand on their own. For me, I always believe I don't give a fish to them, but I want to give a fishing rod to them so that they can actually do their own fishing in the future. Right. It's alright that I do not get the business, but important is that I spread the news of use simulation in their future.
So it's like like you are like evangelist, yeah? It's like a mission kind of.
Yes,
also, yeah?
Exactly.
You treat it like that, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing, yeah. And maybe coming to the end of our discussion, how did you found our event, our conference, yeah? Because you came from, of course, from Singapore, which is quite far away. So are you happy so far? What can you say? What are your impressions from the event?
I'm very happy to be here because this is an event where the simulation user, they are here, that we can speak the same lingo, we can speak the same, we can talk about the same problem, same issue that we are facing, and we understand one another. All right, and we can also learn from one another what are the issues that we are facing, so how do we overcome that. So I believe that is an important session that we have over here. Thanks for inviting me to come over as well.
Thank you for coming, this is the most important. And can you see, because of course this exchange of the experience and so on, this is among the existing users, yeah, but can it be actually valuable for those who are just maybe considering to start using simulation tool, being here, yeah? What do you think? How?
Definitely, because this is a place where we can educate them, make them aware of what are the project has been done, what kind of value that simulation can bring to their company. All right, so I think that this is the best place. Where else can we find?
Exactly. Thank you very much, David.
You're welcome.